and Stephen Healey. Without further ado, let's reveal who's here today. Hello, David.
Good afternoon, Stephen.
It is this afternoon where we both are.
Officially noon now.
Yeah, we've coped quite well with the 5-hour time difference over the years.
Yeah, well, this I guess today's kind of bittersweet, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is.
Yeah.
I mean, we've done so much over the last 3 years. I mean, we celebrated 3 years on 20th September, which is quite an achievement to actually keep it going and enjoy doing so. But you get to a stage. Well, over to you, sir.
Well, yeah, it's true. Yeah, you said 3 years, September 23rd. I don't know how many episodes we did. We'd have to count them. We never really did start a number on them, but maybe that's the one thing we forgot to do. But we know it's been 3 years anyway. And
Facebook told us.
Well, according to them.
Well,
if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't know somebody's birthday either.
Well, not close friends, possibly. Just network, no. And it's the only time in the year when you actually speak to some people.
Sometimes. Yeah. I still like to get cards in the mail. I got to say, when it's your birthday, it's just something about getting a card in the mail that goes, And I don't know about you. I don't get as many as I used to, probably because of social media. But I do get the odd one. And when it shows up, I go, that's pretty cool. They took the time. They went to the store. They picked out a card. They put a stamp on it, went to the mail. But there's a lot of work in doing that, right?
Oh, yes. Yeah. It shows that they thought about you.
Yeah.
I mean, even so, I mean, actually putting a message on Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter, it is. You feel the love, as it were, when people actually do that.
Yes.
So to everybody who's watching, if you'd like to say hello and let us know, we are broadcasting live on Facebook and YouTube, but this is the last ever episode of broadcasting to your community. But we are grateful for the fact that you've been with us on this journey for the last 3 years, and we look forward to staying in touch with you. And of course, David and I broadcast other shows virtually every day of the week.
Yeah, well, in the broadcasting to your community in 3 years, what it looked like back then. We should have went back, grabbed some clips, and maybe could have played them, but they're all there. And what it looked like 3 years ago when we started, and what it looks like now, certainly two completely different. Hi, honey. She never know when she's going to pop up.
Hello, Jennifer. No, when we started back in 2017, we were just on the beginning of Facebook Live, and we were just glad to be live, and the picture quality was reasonable. People could actually make out who we were, which was good. But it's come so far in such a short space of time, and we now go out live and broadcast in HD with good quality sound, and we can have, depending on the system, 4 to 10 people on screen. We wouldn't have, when we first started this broadcast, we wouldn't have actually thought that we could actually get to the stage where we are now.
Well, I always had faith in developers and Facebook, etc., as far as making things grow, but didn't really know how far it would be at this point, and then with the pandemic showing up, that's encouraged more growth, right? As far as live streaming, I mean, Facebook servers and YouTube servers and whoever else's servers got a heck of a lot more busy.
Totally. I mean, all the live stream providers have had a good year, and it's been a way for people to keep in touch with each other. I mean, there are people who've gone over to Zoom and started doing Zoom calls on a regular basis with family. That's how they've been able to keep in touch. I mean, it's the technology we've been using for the last 3 years that has enabled people to keep in touch with each other. And say hello to Barry.
Hello, Barry. Barry, a loyal follower and fan here.
Indeed. And we're waiting for Kelly. Aha! You heard me. That's so long goodbye. See ya, arrivederci. That's close. Yeah.
Ciao.
Oh, that's a good pronunciation, but it's ciao and cheers. Okay. And,
I always think of
as well.
the Sound of Music. So long, farewell. It's time to bid adieu.
Right. Okay. Now, I don't know how things are in Sarnia and Ontario and in Canada, but in the UK, we've got a situation where we're headed for the second wave of COVID. This is something we've been covering since February, really. Mm-hmm. And it's not getting better. And we've got a situation where 2/3 of Wales is on lockdown. Virtually every town north of where John Upton lives in Solihull is on lockdown of some sort. South of Solihull, it's not too bad. But there is a rising tide at the moment. In March, 6 months ago, yesterday, they passed an act which gave the government the ability to take decisions without referring to Parliament. In other words, Parliament didn't have to rubber stamp the decisions they made. They could just make them. And now we're getting a situation where people are saying, well, no, we feel that with everything that's going on now, the government should include Parliament in the decision making. And that's going to be an interesting one. It is a thing that's happened today. How are things in Sarnia?
Well, our government and Premier Ford last week announced some new restrictions, right? They went from allowing 25 outside. Let me make sure. I got to make sure I get that right. You're only allowed 25 outside and 10 inside, and that went from 100 outside to 25 outside to 50 inside to 10 inside. Now, a lot of people said, oh, we're back in stage 2. No, we weren't back in stage 2. We're still in stage 3 with adjusted restrictions. We're not back in stage 2. Not yet. It's, and then they changed it to bars had to stop serving alcohol at 11 o'clock and be closed by midnight, whereas they had gone back to the old, which was you could serve alcohol till 2.
Yeah.
And had to be everybody gone and out by 3. So they've switched that. And then, of course, when these things happen, people get on Facebook, and everybody's a journalist now, thanks to Facebook. Yeah. And opinions are known more. And some people are like, well, what's the difference? COVID doesn't happen after 11 o'clock at night. And I get where people are coming from with saying that. But at the same time, this is called a precautionary measure. It got out of hand in Toronto. We're up over to like 400 cases now again in Ontario or something. Don't quote me on the numbers, folks. But it's gone up again. They haven't officially said that it's a second wave. It's a type of wave, they're saying, but it's looking like it's headed that direction to officially call it that. And people are just frustrated, like, right. Why are we doing this? Why can the kids go to school, but we can't do this? Well, I don't know. Why do zebras have stripes? It's just, like, how do you answer the question unless you went to medical school?
In the UK, we've got the rule of 6, which means that 6 people from 3 different families can meet up. And that's it. Weddings, you restrict numbers, funerals, few more. But we've got the situation with the bars where they close at 10 o'clock, and that starts over the weekend. And of course, what happens at 10 o'clock is that, well, first of all, you've got to have that last drink. So nobody leaves before 10 o'clock. So everybody pours out the doors at 10 o'clock, and you get crowds. And they've had one or two to drink, and therefore they're not as not doing social distancing. And then what do? The off license is open. They go to the off license and they buy more beer to drink, and they go around to somebody's house. Now, it's not working. I think is the phrase. The mayor of Manchester has said that all off licenses should close at 9 o'clock, so that when you leave the pub, you don't have to buy any beer, or you can't buy any beer.
Right.
But people are going to get around that. They're going to go to off license at 7 o'clock, go to a pub for 2 hours, and then take the beer home. I mean, there are ways of getting around it, but you've got a situation.
Yeah, everybody's looking for a way around the rules, right?
Mm-hmm.
Weddings are a really good example. People I know who had their wedding planned coming up in a few weeks were going to be having it out in their parents' backyard, and so they could have 100 people, and now they could only have 25. So who do you cut from the wedding list, right? Yeah. Who's more important? Yeah. That's what it comes down to, right? Sorry, you can't come. Works. I mean, people are calling me going, hey, can you live stream my wedding? Yeah, sure, I can do that. So, but then there's times where people are like, well, you live out in the country. Just go ahead and just do it. Shh, right? And I'm like, no, don't do that, because that's part of the problem why we're back where we're at, is because people are not following the guidelines, and they're just like, well, shh, don't tell. It's not a shh, don't tell. The coronavirus doesn't go, oh, they're doing it quietly, so I won't go over there. The guidelines are, it's not like jaywalking where you can go look around and nobody sees you and away you go. So people need to follow the guidelines. I don't like wearing my safety belt, but I do. I really don't like wearing a mask, but I do.
Has to be.
Yeah,
I mean, the only thing we can do, as we've said right from February, March, is look after ourselves and our immediate family, and do the social distancing, wash our hands, wear a mask, and don't go into large crowds. And it's going to be difficult anyway. I mean, the largest crowds you actually get in the UK are at football matches. And there was going to be an experiment with 1,000 people in the stadium on October 1st. That's been stopped now. Everything's stopped until March. So the football has to continue, obviously, but they've no spectators, and therefore they've no gate money, therefore they've no income. Now, the Premiership is bulletproof because it gets billions from Sky Television. So they're not bothered. It doesn't make much difference to them. But to the smaller clubs in the lower leagues, then they've got a real problem, and they've asked the government to help them. Because what we want to do when we do wake up from this nightmare is things to go back and still have what we've got, still have what we had back in February. So don't want things to disappear. Catching up on the comments. Right, okay. Talking about broadcasting in a community, I know Stephen got podcast audio for this show. Yeah. Do you have a podcast audio for your shows, David?
Yes, I do. Just for my weekly show. If you go on Spotify or Google Podcast or Apple Podcast and just search for The Show with David Burrows. I've missed a couple episodes, I have to admit, but it's up to date now. And typically within 24 to 48 hours after a show, it gets uploaded into audio format. So, yeah, I do have that available.
Over to Kelly. Most people pre-drink and head to the bar at 8 or 9, so bars get to serve for 2 hours. Yeah.
Well, I'll speak to that one. Coming from the bar business myself, and for 25 years, whatever. Years ago, it used to be last call was 1 o'clock or 1:45. Supposed to do last call 15 minutes before the final hour of when you can serve alcohol. And then years ago, they expanded it till 2 a.m., which, working in the bars at that time as an entertainer, I was always like, oh, an extra hour? And I never really understood it. And what happened then was people started to pre-drink, and then they would go out. You say 8 or 9. I think it was more like 10, 11 o'clock before they, and that just coming from being that guy who started to perform at 10, never really saw anything happen till 11:30. The younger college group, to go to their dance clubs or nightclubs, wherever they were, they wouldn't get there till 11:30. So yeah, you'd only got 2 hours. Now, I don't think it's such a terrible thing. And again, coming from the bar business, I don't think it's such and a person who likes to go out. And often I was the one that would be like, well, I don't go out till 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. A lot of places through all of this have been closing at 11 o'clock. Now you have to. I went out, it was Saturday night. I went about 8:30. And a lot of people had gone out early because they knew 11 o'clock was last call. I don't know that that's such a terrible thing. Go out early, get done early, go home.
All right. Staying with Kelly, the casino opens today. There are 50 people at a time. Good luck with that.
Yeah, and I believe that's by invitation only. Right. Like they're reaching out to. Jennifer was talking about that because she likes the casino, and she was talking about how they're going to reach out to 50 people and they get invited, then a different 50 people, I think. But that'll be interesting.
Okay, message from Barry. Barry, would you like to take this one?
Sure. If I can read the whole thing here. Deborah and I took a short 1-week vacation to visit family in Keswick, Ontario. We only traveled around the Georgina area, making sure to social distance. We probably would not have gone if the COVID number were where they are now. Well, yeah. And, the point in that, I think, is making proper choices. Proper choices. If we go back in time, like I remember not hugging my kids for 2 months as bad as I wanted to because we just didn't know what the flub was going on, right?
We didn't. And to a certain extent, we still don't.
No, right? And that's just it. Like we're gonna go back in time if we don't pay attention and do the right things.
Okay, I just want to share something now because it is hot off the presses, as it were. So I'm going out to share. I'm going out to Chrome tab. I'm going to Guardian, which is a revered UK newspaper, and I'm going to bring it up on screen and take a comment off and put it full screen because this affects us all. And COVID-19 tests that give results in minutes to be rolled out across the world. And this was 20 minutes ago. It's a test that gives on-the-spot results in 15 to 30 minutes and are about to be rolled out across the world, saving many thousands of lives and slowing the pandemic in both rich and poor countries. And need to know more about that because it's breaking news. I mean, that's what we're waiting for. That's what we're hoping for, is a vaccine, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting today. The premier at 1 o'clock is joined by Christine Elliott, who's our deputy premier and assistant medical. I forget her title. She's a medical person. I can't keep her and Barbara Yaffe and the other one. Anyway, she's one of the medical experts that will be talking today. So it'll be interesting to see what they have to say. Will it have something to do with that? Because you're 5 hours ahead of us, so you're figuring it out 5 hours ahead of us.
Yeah, I mean, the news breaks here 5 hours before it reaches you. No, it doesn't. No, that can't be right. That can't be right. Now, we obviously see the news in our morning when you're fast asleep. That's the only time we've got a real edge.
Yes.
When it's between 3 and 5 in the morning. That's when we are ahead for a couple of hours. Right. Okay. Now, talking of staying ahead, it's been difficult to keep ahead of what Facebook are up to. Over the last couple of weeks, they've changed the way that we do live broadcasting. And for the first week, it wasn't in a good way. But they have made changes. If you just go live, if you schedule and just go live, then nothing's happened in the last 2 weeks. If you however schedule and do things between scheduling and going live, then your world has changed. And I've tried to graph that, so I'm just going to bring a chart up on screen. Hang on, no, I'm not. Yes, I am. Hang on. Okay, I'll get there in a minute, David. Nothing changes. Right. Okay. When Facebook, you schedule the show. Facebook created 2 posts. One was an information post, promotional post, and the second one was the one with the video on it. Now the one with the video on it is not produced until you actually go live, which means promoting it and sharing it, you can't because it's not there. So this is the way it works now, and this is what I discovered last Friday with the help of Karen Glasser. When you schedule a live broadcast, the first post is created. Now, the first post is purely informational. It's what you've actually entered into, whether you're on Be Live or StreamYard or Zoom or Restream. It's information you entered there. That post you can share to pages, groups, and profiles. So you can share that post. There's nothing stopping you sharing that post. It'll come in useful in a moment. But I was going to say, for God's sake then, but do not edit it. If you edit that first post, it will vanish in a puff of smoke, and then you're scuppered. Well, you're not actually. If you delete it by accident, your broadcast will still go ahead. Now, the way to edit the first post is to use Creator Studio, and in Creator Studio, you can now cross-post, as we used to be able to. Cross-posting is back. When you go live, you can cross-post to all destinations, and the live show will follow you as it used to. So if you cross-post, when you go live, there will be a live post on everywhere you've cross-posted, whether it be a page or a group. The only downside at the moment is you can't edit a cross-post, which means if you change your mind about anything, you're stuffed. And final thing is, I mentioned sharing a moment ago. You can share that first post. When you go live, that first post changes and you get a Watch Now button. And if you click the Watch Now button, it takes you direct to the originating broadcast. So as a result of that, if you schedule a live broadcast and don't go ahead with it, Facebook don't have to delete 2 posts now. They only have to delete 1. And the other thing is, instead of actually showing a live video on every shared page, and we know that Joe Shepherd was actually sharing to 111 different pages with 111 broadcasts. Now they don't have to post the video on the share. They just post it on the original page, and the 111 posts link back to it. So we're getting somewhere, getting closer. We've got a system that works now, and it's going to be interesting to see what actually happens this Thursday, because they seem to be updating this system on Thursdays. Okay. Let's say if you schedule and just go live, you don't notice a thing. But if you schedule and do something in between then and going live, then it has been what's Lottie's words? Lottie wasn't best pleased by it, Lottie Hearn.
Yeah, I never I didn't have that same experience, so I don't know if it's just happening in certain areas or what, but
it's not happening to everybody, and this is with the sort of beta test. We've been recruited to beta test Facebook scheduling, and it's not everybody, no, but for those who are affected, then it has been a pain in the backside, and it is close to getting resolved. And it wasn't. Thanks. I mean, as we know, it affected every broadcasting software known to man. Basically, it is getting sorted, so that's very good.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I got invited to Facebook Community Summit online. So that's coming up in October. Did you get? You've gone? Is that the same one you've gone to before? But you went in person.
It's yeah. I've got an invite October 3rd, I think, or 1st. Yes. One of the two. But it's no, because the in-person one was in person. But it could be related to that. But
I didn't know if it was the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a chance to meet the people who are responsible for the facilities we have in the community, and a chance to give feedback. So to that extent, it's a good place to actually go and learn what's going to happen to Facebook groups.
Yeah, it will be interesting. Now, what I've been getting is using the new Facebook. and then I could switch back, and then 48 hours, and then it tries to switch me back again. And for the most part, I don't mind the new Facebook. I mean, it takes some getting used to, but I do find there's a couple of things that don't seem to be working. Like when I want to go to my pages and all the pages I have access to, that doesn't seem to work from the tab they give me. I have to actually type in my page that I want to go to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not fully working, which is why they've got that button, I presume, so you can actually go back if you want to. You got used to it. I mean, it is what it is. You can't do anything about it. They're not going to move backwards. They're only going to stay where they are. I mean, considering that 2.3 billion people have been switched over, they're not doing too bad. So,
yeah,
you know, and there's still, I mean, we've been saying for 3 years that somebody needs to come up with a Facebook alternative. Well, they haven't. There isn't a real Facebook alternative. I mean, people talk about LinkedIn, but LinkedIn is not Facebook. We're used to Facebook, aren't we?
Yeah. Well, LinkedIn's for business strictly too. So I mean, they're really two different animals.
Kelly's got.
Kelly said, "Oh, nice.
Yeah. Go on then.
We'll see you there then."
Yeah, we might be lost in the crowd, as it were.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I mean, with Mark Zuckerberg, they've hosted multi-thousand people attending. Can they handle a couple of million? I suppose this will be the acid test. Yeah. David and I saw 3, 2, 1 then, but it's just obviously we're coming up to, I don't know what it is. It's some test that's going on. All the broadcasts are actually monitored automatically. So that must mean the end
By Be Live or Facebook?
By Be Live.
Oh, okay.
I mean, the investment that's gone into Be Live is truly behind the scenes in terms of quality control. And we can go back, but at the moment, we've got a situation where the quality on the broadcasts for vast majority, and we're talking in the high 90% of people, is good. I do know something though, which amazed me, and we'll let you know this. If you go into one of two groups, and I'm going to mention StreamYard and Be Live here, you will rarely notice people complaining, which is good. And on the face of it, it's perfect because nobody's complaining about anything. The reason that you don't see any complaints in these groups, and Be Live and StreamYard are not the only ones, is because the complaints never get there. Every post is being pre-screened, and any technical problems anybody has with the platform are being handled by the tech guys and not actually appearing in the forums. Now, that makes the forums quieter. And of course, what you don't get then is people piling in and saying, I've had that problem too. But if you've ever wondered why there's rarely a negative post in either of those forums or other forums as well, admins have taken to actually approving posts before they actually get into the forum itself. You can't just post, you've got to wait in a queue. Yeah, and it's amazing what finds its way into the queue. In the queue on Be Live, we've got videos that have been done on mobile. We've got videos from StreamYard. We've got videos from Zoom. So that's just a heads up onto why we don't actually see. But having said that, I can say hand on heart that things are pretty quiet on Be Live, even with the pre thing. And Dom's getting better day by day. Good. Glad to hear that, Dom.
Yeah, I was glad to hear you got home, Dom. Dom recently had to have a pacemaker done. So glad that went well.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, David's kept us in the picture, Dom. And it's good to see you broadcasting again. And with us today, of course.
So, Stephen, what are you going to do now that we've freed up more time for you on Monday.
Right, I'm gonna ask that question of you first.
What am I gonna do?
Yeah.
Well, okay, so I'll put it out there. I'll be the bad guy, folks. I'm the one that said.
No, I wasn't alluding to that.
No, I know. No, I know, but I'll put it out there. It was me that I said to Stephen, I have to, it's been on my mind for a while, and it's been a tough decision for me to say to Stephen, I just can't keep doing this on Monday. It's I've got other projects that are coming my way, and other projects that I'm working on to hopefully come to light. And if they all do come to light, and a lot of them will, then I'm going to get super busy.
Good.
And as it's a business, a lot of, for me, you got to prioritize things, and you got to go, oh. And I was like, had a lot of discussions with Jennifer about it, and it was just time. So for no reason other than life's changing. That's it. So what are
life does change.
What's that?
Life does change, and you've got to go with the opportunities.
Yes. It doesn't mean that like Stephen and I'm sure we'll still do some things from time to time, and who knows, we may pop up together once in a while just to say hello to everybody together. And there's still the Be Live in 5 days, and the blueprint for live streaming. So
still two projects that we're involved in.
Yeah.
And there are only so many shows you can actually do. I'm fortunate insofar as things, because I'm in the Belivers group and admin there, I can actually ask a question. And I asked the question, do you broadcast on YouTube? And the poll, this is a poll in a group, which is crazy. It had 250 replies, 250 votes on it.
Nice.
And well, yeah, and even better than that, he had a reach of 6,000 in a group. Now, when you consider that the group membership is 25,000, that means 1 in 4 people actually saw the post. I'll come back to that in a minute. And I thought, right, okay, if all these people are broadcasting on YouTube, what are they broadcasting about? So I invited people to actually drop links to their YouTube channels, and they did. I took a look at them, and we got YouTube channels where people, they haven't been anywhere near Be Live, but they wanted to put the YouTube channel in there, which was good. So we found out lots of YouTube channels without Be Live on there, but we found out 35 channels which are actually broadcasting every week using Be Live to YouTube. So I've started a new initiative which to actually promote those YouTubers who broadcast from Be Live. And there's a new weekly show, which I did today. And that will slot in quite nicely because I can move that from 10 a.m. Eastern to 5 p.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern.
Right.
So there we are. Job done.
So that show you're featuring other YouTube channels that are using Be Live.
That's right. We're featuring 4 different YouTube channels each week, playing videos from the channels, and also I've got Nick Wood with me, and he's just started his YouTube channel. So over the weeks and months, we'll be actually pushing his YouTube channel forward and getting him more subscribers. And I'll be trying to explain what you should do on YouTube and how it works and everything. So you've got 2 videos, 10-minute training slot, and then 2 more videos. And Nick will pick the first 2 videos. I'll pick the last 2 videos. So it's a sort of different format. It worked this afternoon. We went live at 10 a.m. Eastern today, and it worked. So that's good. And now just say no. It's not easy for me. I've got a show tomorrow. I've got a show tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern with Karen Glasser, because that graphic I just showed you of how Facebook works, I wouldn't have got there, how Facebook shadowing works, if it hadn't been for Karen. A button appeared bottom right of the post which said, for broadcasters only, edit, press this button. Karen, bless her, actually pressed the button. and then told me what was there. So I pressed the button, and I found out cross-posting was back, which led to a video, which led to a blog. So I'm live with Karen tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern.
Very nice. Now, let's talk about cross-posting for a minute. Do you still use a lot of cross-posting?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you find it effective?
Why not? Why not? I mean, it's like being able to multicast. You broadcast to Facebook and YouTube. Why not?
Yeah, no, but I get it. Do you find it effective?
It's the people are viewing there. There's no interaction because it doesn't link back properly. But there are views to be had. Yeah.
Yeah. I've become selective as to where I use cross posting.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I broadcast the premiere, I send that to the City of Sarnia Facebook.
Yeah.
And one other. When I do my show now, I don't cross post it to because I'm able to go live on those pages anyway. But I actually started just doing my show on the show with the show Facebook page, the show on my YouTube channel, and on my Twitter. I don't even go live on the Video Show Network with it anymore. Right. I don't go live on the Talk Show Network or anything. And the reason I don't go live with that on the Video Show Network is I'm trying to separate those two brands a little bit. The Video Show Network is more about live streaming. So when I do Western Ontario Outlaws or other people's stuff, like the premiere stuff, I put that on there because that's what that represents. But I want people to come directly to my Facebook page and my YouTube channel. I mean, right? So I've been doing that and then sharing the links in different places, and that has seemed to cause some growth. So I'm just trying to see how effective cross-posting really is, and does it depend on what you're broadcasting, whether you should or shouldn't use it? Sorry, go ahead.
It always depends on content, doesn't it?
Yeah. Right, well, and how much engagement you want. I mean, my show, for example, I don't get a ton of engagement, but it's not necessarily designed to get a bunch of engagement while it's live at the same time. It's me having a conversation. We don't really, we put out there, if people want to make a comment or ask a question, they can, but I don't really go, hey, everybody, ask your questions. Blah, blah, blah. They watch the program, and that's kind of how it goes. Then there's other things that I might broadcast where that engagement is kind of wanted, right? So, interesting.
Gotcha. Dom's saying I'd love to help. If that's in relation to my YouTube project, then gladly accepted.
What help are you looking to do?
It's a new show. Anything.
No, but I mean, what I'm wondering what he's referring to. I'd love to help.
I just checking. Yeah. I think that was the last thing that was talked about. I mean, I just want to give you an example because I can. I'm going to bring, because I've still got it here, I'm going to bring this up on screen. And this is an example of the way people are actually using BeLive. And I just like it. Just a bit of background here. Bosco is in Qatar, and Qatar, as we know, is going to host the 2022 World Cup. And he runs a weekly broadcast, and he's got his country's government involved. And this is a short excerpt. I need to turn off David's microphone and my own. I'll just play you a couple of minutes.
Qatar. Welcome to the 23rd edition of the weekly virtual Big B Meetup. Big B Meetup is a community initiative founded in 2018 in Qatar. It is dedicated to my mother, the late Aureliana Josephine, and inspired by the people of Qatar, both local and expatriate. It aims to educate, to inform, to inspire, and bring communities together. With the pandemic upon us, we took Big B Meetup to the virtual world, and this gave birth to the weekly virtual Big B Meetup since 18th April 2020. Today, we celebrate World Beach Cleanup Day, and with
I just wish they'd make the microphone icons bigger so I can actually see the damn things. They were talking about a project there which is about cleaning up the beaches in Qatar. I mean, obviously, with the World Cup coming in 2022, the country has to be in pristine condition. So they're starting 2 years ahead of time, and cleaning up the beaches was a project which they're working on at the moment. But the thing is that it's just an amazing use. And we were talking earlier today, and we like the way that Bosco is at the top of the screen. He's got his 3 guests below him. And you and I know how long it would take to actually get that right by juggling people around on screen until you actually end up on top. So kudos to him for doing that. If you want to watch more of the video, then if I bring this up on screen, then this should post the link into the comments and you can go and watch the rest of the video. That's the theory anyway. Okay. And there you have it. If you want to watch more, then click that link. And I didn't do anything then. Okay, I'll hide that now. Back to us. Okay, yep. So that's an example of a YouTube video, and hats off to him for organising that, because he if we'd gone further into the video, he knows all about his guests. He's got questions for each of them, and he just runs the show. And the question was asked, does he actually produce it as well? And the answer to that is yes, and he is darn good at it. It just looks professional. Let's say it that way. Which you can do, of course, on both BeLive and StreamYard. Yeah,
no, it's nice to see people taking advantage and using this the softwares and the applications that are available for live streaming, right? There's different levels of live streaming for sure, and it's got a lot to do with what you want to put out there. But you talk about YouTube, like I've been utilizing my YouTube more. But actually taking some of my own advice that I teach my students, that I wasn't really taking my own advice. I would go live with my show. At one point, I was using a service that it would automatically get repurposed and uploaded to YouTube. Now I just go live there. Yeah. So it's there. And that's all I was really using it for. I've been known to say I just use it for storage. It's just one more place to be found. But I wasn't really promoting it or doing anything with it. I wasn't going back and adding in all the tags and all the things you need to do behind the scenes in YouTube to make it work. And funny, when I started doing that, I got growth, right? I'm getting and I've been doing more than just the show on there. I do my drone videos now. I fly my drone a lot. And put those videos up. I now have a camera for my motorcycle.
Yes, I noticed that. Yes.
So I do moto cams. I've got one up, and I've got probably 3 or 4 enough footage to do 3 or 4 more videos that I've got to edit. So I'm going to be doing more in that. You'll be seeing more of that, and some other things. You'll probably see me out a little bit more in the community than I have been lately, and utilizing my. I'm going to use my YouTube more than I have been. So that's one of the things that's going to take up more of my time. Video editing takes a lot of time, but I really enjoy doing the video editing. And I wasn't doing as much of it. And that's one of the things I said to Jennifer. I said, I really miss doing all that video editing, getting in there. And I just really like being creative with it. So that's one of the time consuming things as well that I'll be doing, that you'll see more of for sure.
Brilliant. That's a good in, the word creative, that is. For the last 2 years, I've been looking after a project for BeLive, which is the live video hub, which is all about cross-posting. That changes on October 1st when I become part of the BeLive content creation team, which is on the inside of where things are going on. And all I can say, this is an English phrase, or possibly a Canadian phrase too. It's going to be a stonking fourth quarter, because I know of 4 new features which are going to make going live more pleasurable and more powerful. So I'm looking forward to starting that, working with Irene, and that is When's the 1st of October? It's 28th today, isn't it? So
Thursday.
Three more days running my own show, and then I've got to be part of a team. This is going to be different. This is going to be a challenge. when you're doing something on your own, you're your own boss, and you can do what you want when you want. When you work with a team, then you've got to behave as part of a team. And I've not been part of a team. Well, let's just say I'm looking forward to it. The word trepidation's in there somewhere, but excitement too. So these are good times. And it's certainly good times to be involved in live video.
Right. Well, speaking of good times, we're running out of time here, Stephen.
I tried to look, guys. I'm sorry. I did try to get away with it. I did.
Come on. My goodness. I can't believe I felt like a conspiracy was going on there or something, Stephen. My goodness.
I had a word with Kelly and Dom and Barry, and they said, "Don't let him do it." No, that's not true.
Really?
They didn't say a word. It's okay. I'm just.
Oh boy, I'm really learning who my friends are here. On
you got 3 very good friends there. You know that.
Oh boy, right. Boy, I'm gonna have to relook at my friends. I'll tell you. Well, this will be the last time of bad dad jokes on here. I let me put this out to you. Would you guys enjoy it if maybe once a week or something I did, like 15 minutes or something? I just came on and did bad dad jokes, and maybe you guys could come on and tell me your bad dad jokes. There you go. I got time every Monday now. No, I'm just kidding. Where did Noah keep his bees?
I don't know, David. Where did Noah keep his bees?
In the archives. Archives.
Very good. Yes.
You're going to miss me when I'm gone.
I am going to miss you. Never mind the jokes. Carry on.
It's not going to miss the jokes. I still remember what my grandpa said before he kicked the bucket. He said, "How far do you think I can kick this bucket?" Apparently not. Why is Peter Pan always flying?
I don't know, David. Why is Peter Pan always flying?
Because he never lands. Never lands? Never lands?
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, got that.
I don't write them, folks. I don't write them. What did the farmer say when he couldn't find his tractor?
I have no idea. What did he say?
Where's my tractor?
Oh.
Come on.
Okay, they're not getting any better, David.
You're smarter than this. You could have figured that one out. What? Oh boy, I'm really, really sorry. What do you call a factory that sells good products?
What do you call a factory that sells good products, David?
A satisfactory.
Oh, groan. Mind you, I can groan. It won't get on the mic, will it?
I don't have a lighter. I can't burn them.
Right. Okay.
Change is inevitable, except from vending machines.
Okay, give you that one.
I wish I had something better.
Do you want me to read it? Do you want me to?
How do you make a witch itch?
Okay, David, how do you make a witch itch?
Take away the W.
And on that note, is that the last one? Or is there one more?
I've got a whole bunch more here, but
one more then.
You're gonna have to. Well, this will be for Tuesdays. The past, present, and future walked into a bar. It was tense.
It would be tense, indeed.
I'm stopping there. There.
That's a reasonable one. You can quit while you're ahead, really. Yeah, you've got. Okay, so the replies are in, and let's just see what people are saying. Kelly. All right, Kelly's got his own.
Knock. Who's there? Dave. Dave who?
Right. Okay.
I better not see you on the street, Kelly.
Okay. And now Right. Okay. Where do we go from here? Well, we've only got 9.5 minutes left.
Well, I've got to go very shortly because I've got the premiere to do again, 1 o'clock. But Dave's not here. Yeah, Dave's not. No, Dave's not here. That was Cheech and Chong did that a long time ago. Is Dave here? No, Dave's not here. Yeah, I've got to move on and get ready to do the premiere broadcast. But I've been thinking about today's episode today, and I thought, well, what kind of words do you say, and what kind of things can you bring up? And we've got a lot of clips we could have brought on here today, but they're all on. I think they're all on YouTube or on Facebook, or they're somewhere if you want to go back and take a look. But I think for me, as a broadcaster, a live streamer, I don't know what our title is, but professional live streamer, this is what I do. This is doing live shows and broadcasting other people's shows and producing them for them and getting them out there on social media marketing, all that stuff. And I enjoy all of it. But I've looked forward 3 years for coming on here at noon Eastern every Monday. We've had to miss a couple here and there. I think the show always got on except for a couple of times. Sometimes I did it alone, sometimes Steven did it alone, but it's always been fun and enjoyable, and I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna miss being here, but I'm also looking forward to the new things that it's with mixed emotions that this is the last episode. It could have went either way, could have kept doing it, but this is the way. I think it's the right choice for right now, and I'm sure Steven and I will find a way to connect and go live once in a while.
Once you've made a decision, it's the right one when a calmness descends. Right now, to everybody who's watched us over the years, I want to say personal thank you. The show would not have been the same without your interaction. And from Barry saying, thank you, Stephen and David. I enjoyed your show, and we'll certainly miss you both on this show. You'll see us both around. You'll see us both broadcasting together, but not at 12 p.m. Eastern on Mondays. From Wiltshire in England, goodbye for now. And from
Sarnia, Ontario, Canada, thank you, everybody, for coming back and watching us regularly. And Stephen, thank you for producing and doing everything here. And I enjoy our friendship, and I know our friendship's going to continue to grow in different ways. And good luck with behind the scenes there at Be Live starting on Thursday. Until now, if you enjoyed the show, give us a 20. Just one time, give us a 20, because you won't get another chance to give us 10. Give us a 20 in the comments below. And if you didn't enjoy us, I'm really sorry. Okay. You'll have to wait to do it again.
It's been our pleasure and honor to, I've made a new network of friends in Sarnia, and I'll keep in contact with you all. Look forward to seeing you all on future broadcasts. Thank you for watching us. Take care. Goodbye for now. Okay.